Does anyone remember that old crappy laptop that I had called the Toshiba Tecra 740 CDT? I'm not um, talking about the Toshiba Satellite M60. It's the Tecra 740 CDT. So those are pretty much the two crappy Toshiba computers that I own. Remember when I buried the 740 CDT and I decided to dig it up a couple of months later? Well, not much has changed to it. Only a little bit of rust and a little bit of bugs and dirt. Not much. So I decided to leave it alone, let it sit for, I think it's been half a year or probably a full year now. I'm not even sure. Yeah, it's got to be half a year. Well, let's take a look at it again. Here it is. Now, I had to dig it back up because the area that I buried it in will be a vegetable garden. I'm going to be planting onions, tomatoes, potatoes, carrots, all that. Given the fact that this thing has been buried for probably about half a year or so, I had to dig it back up only for that garden that we're going to be making soon. So, I decided to put it on a piece of, I think it's called chipboard or something, or whatever it is. Yeah, it's got to be chipboard. Because I just cleaned my desk. I don't know how many times today. I actually spilt water on it not too long ago and I had to wipe it off. Thank God I already waxed it. It has that little shine to it. The wax really protected it from being water damaged. And the second time I had to clean it up was, I think, well, I only spilt a little bit of coffee on it, so not that big of a deal. So to prevent any further damages from the sand scraping the hell out of it, I decided to put it on this piece of chipboard or whatever the hell you call it. And ever since I moved my, I think it's a 22-inch LCD monitor, I have a lot of desk space, which allows me to put this board on the desk. Before, I wasn't able to because this thing took up most of the room here. Anyway, let's take a look at this beast. Wow. Huh. Really starting to rust now. Holy shit. But the Toshiba logo is still readable. The Intel and Windows sticker seems to be fine. But that's a lot of rust. Oh, shit, I have it in zoom. Well, the mouse button is busted now. It appears to me that the rubber padding underneath that allows the button to push down and pop back up again is no longer functioning. But the right click button is working fine. The spacebar is kind of bad. But the rest of the keys are fine, and they don't have that gritty sand in them. Cool. Oh, the volume button still works. Oh, sort of. And you can tell that there's the key marks on the screen. This is actually the same effect that the Acer Aspire 1 had when someone cleaned the keyboard with so much water. This is what I was talking about. When they close the screen, it left little square marks from the keys. And yeah, that's how I could tell someone put a lot of water on the keyboard. So this is a perfect example. Now, I don't want to fire this thing up, and I'm kind of scared if I do. Only because it's been underground for a long time. Like, this machine sat out in thunderstorms, even a hailstorm. Like, we had a hailstorm not too long ago. The heaviest rainfall that we've had, I don't know how many centimeters of rain we had, but it's quite a lot. It's a downpour. And I don't think it sat out in the winter. I think it sat out probably at the end of winter, I think. I don't know. What a piece of shit. Oh my god. The latch button flew off somewhere. I don't know where it went. Wow. You know, surprisingly, these older Toshiba notebooks tend to have a lot of cracking near the hinge area. And the plastic is always brittle, but I'm not seeing it on this notebook. Oh wow. The infrared port seems to be fine. Oh! You open the door, you get more. Printer port, I think that is a... Oh shit, I can't remember what the hell that was. I think it was a SCSI. No. I don't think they had docking stations for these older notebooks back then. Maybe. VGA serial, PS2 mouse, and the multimedia input and output jacks. There we go. And this is supposedly where the power supply jack is. It's clogged with a lot of dirt. If I were to even plug it in, I don't think it would be possible because I couldn't be able to plug the cord in. This is the power switch slider. It prevents you from accidentally turning your computer off, but clearly the sand has gotten to it and you can't close it. There's the reset button, the fan. I'm not even sure if I left the battery in this thing. Let's find out. This is where the hard drive would have been. And did I remove it? Oh yeah, I did. Okay. Yeah, even the sand got to the battery door. The feet aren't popping up. Yeah, there's no way these feet are popping up. Oh, got one. Yeah, the spring is no longer any good. Usually if you push it down, it should just pop back up again. But the spring is so worn out. Okay. I'm not even sure if the battery's in here, but it's worth a shot. There's a lot of corrosion in there now. I wouldn't be surprised if the motherboard is destroyed. pry the damn door. This thing has sat for so long that just to check to see if the battery's in it is a pain in the ass, because I can't even get the door off. Maybe if I ow. Yeah, I can't get the door off. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I can get into the RAM door though. There's a lot of little bugs crawling around. Holy shit. Okay, so let's see if there's anything under this memory door. I got the one screw out, but the last one always appears to be the worst. It wants to come out though. You know what? Let's just bend the door off. I don't care. No, there's nothing in there. Good enough for me. What the hell is that? Oh yeah, that's for the external floppy drive. That's where it would have gone. At least one door kind of closes. Oh, there it goes. Oh, it's just like sandpaper. The PC MICA card slots. That's where the modem is. I don't envy whoever has to clean this up. That's going to be a pain in the ass. Now, I wonder if I can take this whole notebook apart just to see how bad the corrosion is. But first, I think I'm going to have to clean it up first, just put it in the sink and wash it. Just to clean any remnants of dirt out. Because that's a lot of dirt. The screen is so warped and bent. I think it was because I threw a rock on it. I don't know. But the hinges on this thing haven't failed yet, so that's the best part. The screen is still nice and stiff to open and close. Oh, huge crack in the palm rest. But the stickers are still on here. Go Flames Go. I don't even watch sports, so why the hell would I care about them? There used to be a track point, a Racerhead track point on here, and it's gone now. I don't know what happened to it. But anyway, I'm gonna throw this thing in the sink and wash it down, get any dirt out of it, and then try to see if I can take it apart. Okay, so I decided to give it a bath, and it turned out pretty good. Still a little bit of dirt in there, but not too bad. You can still see the key marks on the screen. That's exactly what the Acer Aspire 1 had to go through. Now, I don't think the battery door is stuck anymore. I don't think so. Wait a minute. Yeah, it tells me to slide it this way, to the right. But it still isn't going to budge. I might have to get a bigger screwdriver. Be right back. And a little bit of prying at the plastic, and I finally got to slide all the way open. And I'm assuming that the battery is still in here. Okay, anyway. not that's going to come out. Hold on. Got it. Well, that's the battery. And you know what? It doesn't even look that bad. Not too rusty looking. Little bit of corrosion, but not much. Yeah, it's actually pretty good. But I don't know what the inside of the case will look like, though. It's the one thing I want to find out is the battery's all corroded or what. And mind you, this battery never held a charge, so if you're going to go on and say, oh, you could have saved the battery cells and all that, no. They weren't even worth saving. Blah. They weren't even worth saving. Jeez. So, yeah, I'm going to see if I can crack it open, but I'm not sure if I can. Alright, so I got the battery case cracked open, but kind of had a little accident. As I was breaking the case open, my screwdriver slipped and got me right there. Yeah, oh well. Anyway, it's not too bad. So, surprisingly for the battery, it hasn't rusted or anything. The battery cells are absolutely fine. And even if I want to save the battery cells, I couldn't, because they're just so damn big that it would be impossible to use in a regular notebook. Some of the gold pads on here are starting to, or gold pins are starting to rust a little bit and corrode. But not that bad. So that explains the battery. And I think this case was so tightly sealed that I don't think any water got into it. Water definitely got into it when I was washing it, though, but you know, it's not all that bad. If I were to leave it out in the open for, I don't know, half a year or so, then we would see some major decaying and stuff. But anyway, but there's the gold pins. Most of you were wondering what they look like. Shit. That's what they are, gold pins. Anyway, let's put this thing away. After when I'm done, I'm just going to pitch the laptop out. I'm not even going to keep it. I don't need more broken computers lying around here. But I'm going to try to disassemble the computer itself and see where that takes me. I know what you're thinking, but it's not what it looks like. I did not wet my pants. I don't think I'm going to be able to get this thing apart. And how I got the water on my pants, well, and it is water, mind you. I had the laptop tilted up this way so I can get the back screws out, except that one because it completely disintegrated. And as I had the laptop facing upward, all the water that was still left in it drained onto my pants. So now I gotta change my pajamas. Wonderful. And there's still water inside. Oh yeah. I can't get the palm rest off because the two screws that are in here, the minute I try to unscrew them, they just fall apart. Like, there's nothing left. Same with this screw. If you try to turn it, it starts to disintegrate. And I know for a fact there used to be screws in these holes, and unfortunately I cannot get either one of them to turn. So, the laptop is partially taken apart, but not a lot that you can actually see. But judging by the looks on the inside, there doesn't seem to be too much damage to the board. Just by looking at the memory area. There we go. Damn it. Damn dog is barking out there. So yeah, just by looking at this right now, I can tell you that there's pretty much nothing to see. Like, there's no corrosion in this area. A little bit of mud and water, but that's nothing. So if I take this thing apart, I'm just doing it for no reason. If I can't see anything on this part of the board, then there's nothing else. Sure, it may look like hell right at the front here, but that's just the aluminum frame that's all corroded and rusted out. And that's it. Anyway. So yeah, this Toshiba laptop isn't worth taking apart, and it's not worth having more water dumped on my pants. There better not be any more water in here, because there's some on the floor too. Anyway. So, now that you've looked at this piece of shit Toshiba laptop, this will be the last time you'll see it, because I'm going to throw it right out in the garbage, because I don't want to keep this thing. Heck, God only knows, there could be bugs or eggs inside it that could hatch, and then I'll have a bug infestation here. I don't need that in my house. And besides, I got plenty more toys to play with. I got this custom-built computer tower that I just made in a previous video. And, you know, if you guys have watched my previous video, this thing is running Windows 7, and surprisingly, it's really good. I still haven't got it hooked up to the internet yet, because every time when I try to move one of the windows in Windows 7, it freezes up and the driver crashes for the display driver. So, where the hell is that dog barking from? I hear a fucking dog. Anyway. Yeah, I still have to connect this thing to the internet and update the driver. Because if I don't have an updated driver on this computer, then it's going to keep freezing up. Only when Windows Arrow is turned on, that's when it freezes. But if I turn Windows Arrow off, it works fine. And, yeah. Oh, and in my previous video, I've already mentioned that yes, I have found a new spot for my modder, and I like the fact that it's not taking up so much room anymore. It looks like it's actually mounted to the wall. Awesome. See you later, you piece of shit Toshiba Tecra 740 CDT. You belong in hell.